Hello everyone. Welcome back to another Friday reflection. Today I want to talk about something that surprised me during my creative journey. Well, it is the realization that success doesn't always feel like the end. When we are working towards a goal, we often imagine that achieving it will bring a permanent sense of completion. We think that once a book is published, the project is finished, the award is won, the degree is earned, or the dream comes true, we'll finally feel like we have arrived. But you know what? Life rarely works that way. Instead, many of us discover something unexpected. We reach the destination we worked so hard for, only to realize that the journey isn't over. In many ways, it is just beginning. That is the dream of arrival. For years, I believed that every major achievement had a finish line. I thought there would be a moment when I could finally say, "That's it. I have done what I set out to do." Maybe you have felt that way too. Perhaps you thought, when I publish my book, I'll feel complete. When I get the job, I'll feel satisfied. When I finish the project, I'll finally relax. When I achieve this goal, everything will make sense. But you know what? Something interesting happens. You reach the goal, you celebrate, you feel proud. And then a quiet question appears. What's next? So publishing the book is the next part. Okay, so let's take an example of writing. That before publishing a book, there's an anticipation. You spend months, sometimes years developing ideas. You write, you edit, you revise, you doubt yourself, you continue anyway. Eventually, the book is finished. You hold it in your hands. You feel happy. You feel grateful. And yet, after the excitement settles, you begin thinking about another story. You know why? Because there is another idea behind it. There is another project. The achievement was real. The joy was real. But the creative journey continued. So basically, why creators rarely feel finished? I think creators understand this feeling particularly well. Whether you're a writer, artist, photographer, podcaster, musician, or filmmaker, creativity is not a destination, it's a relationship. The moment when project ends, another idea begins knocking on the door. Sometimes before the first project is even finished. You complete one podcast, then imagine another. You finish one article, then think about the next stop. You publish one book, then another story begins forming in your mind. Creativity keeps moving, and perhaps there's a beautiful thing. Because there's a success we imagine versus the success we experience. There's often a difference between imagined success and experienced success. Imagined success looks dramatic. It looks like fireworks, celebrations, applause, permanent happiness. Experienced success is quieter. It's often a brief moment of satisfaction followed by a reflection. You realize that success solves some problems but introduces new questions. New questions of new responsibilities, new expectations, new possibilities. Success changes the landscape, but it doesn't end the journey. You know why? Because there is a morning after every achievement in that particular journey. One of the most interesting moments in life is the morning after a major accomplishment. The event is over. I can understand that. The project is finished. You know that too. The deadline has passed. Even your seniors know about it. And suddenly life becomes normal again. You wake up, you make tea or coffee, you check your messages, the world continues. This can feel surprising because we expect achievement to permanently transform everything. But you know what? Instead of discovering that life keeps moving, perhaps that exactly it should be. We are supposed to keep discovering that life is not still. So basically, when ambition meets gratitude, it means that one of the challenges many successful people face while balancing gratitude and ambition. Ambition says keep going, do more, achieve more, create more. But gratitude says pause. Look how far you have come. Celebrate this moment. The healthiest approach requires both. Without ambition, we may stop growing. Without gratitude, we may never feel fulfilled. Learning to appreciate progress while continuing to pursue new goals is one of the life's most valuable skills. It means that you are supposed to pursue new goals when you're feeling creatively emptiness after completion. So let's talk about something many creators experience but rarely discuss. It is a creative emptiness. Imagine spending months immersed in a project. Every day revolves around it. Your thoughts revolve around it. Your schedule revolves around it. And suddenly it is finished. The space that project occupied is gone. Even if the outcome is successful, you may feel strangely empty. You know why? This is not because you regret the achievement, but because something meaningful has ended. This feeling is normal. It simply means the work mattered to you. Now the success creates new beginning. One reason success doesn't feel like the end is because every achievement creates new beginnings. Publishing a book leads to new readers. Completing a degree leads to new opportunities. Finishing a project leads to new challenges because growth creates growth. Success creates responsibility. Success creates possibility. Every ending becomes another beginning. There is a myth of enough also. So in the modern culture often teaches us to chase more recognition, more achievements, more productivity, more success. But eventually we must ask ourselves an important question. What does enough mean? Is enough a number, a title, an accomplishment, or is enough a feeling? Well, according to me, I believe that fulfillment comes not from reaching a magical point called enough, but from appreciating the journey while continuing to grow. Okay, so when I look back on my own creative journey, I realized that many achievements I once considered distant dreams eventually became reality. Starting a blog, who would have thought about it? Writing books, who used to do that quite often? Interviewing people, exploring photography, creating podcasts, working on long-term projects, each of achievement felt significant. Yet none of them felt like the final chapter. Do you really think that used to happen earlier? Instead, each one opened another door. Nothing used to happen earlier. We all used to depend on degrees. Each one revealed another possibility. Each one expanded the story. So it's like when recognition doesn't feel like the end. Over the years, I have been fortunate to receive recognition for my work. Okay, so I was honored with 12 awards across various platforms and competitions where I participated. I also received a silver medal in the National Painting Competition and a gold certificate for being recognized as the best author. Well, these moments were deeply meaningful because they reflected the effort, dedication and passion I had invested in my creative journey. For a long time, I thought such achievements would feel like a final destination. But I imagined that reaching these milestones would bring a sense of complete fulfillment. And while they certainly brought happiness, gratitude and encouragement, they did not feel like the end of the story. Instead, they reminded me that every achievement is also a responsibility. Every award encouraged me to write better, learn more and continue growing. The recognition was wonderful, but what mattered most was the journey behind it. The early mornings, the long hours of writing, the creative risk, and the lessons learned along the way. Those awards became milestones rather than finish lines. They celebrated where I had been, but they also inspired me to keep moving forward toward new ideas, new stories, and new possibilities. Okay, so there's a beauty of an unfinished journey. Perhaps the reason success doesn't feel like the end is because human beings are designed to evolve. We learn, we grow, we adapt, we become curious. We imagine new opportunities, new futures. And the fact that we continue seeking purpose after achieving goal is not a flaw. It is part of being human. It means we are alive. It means we are still growing. It means there are more chapters waiting to be written. You know what, there is a lesson from creativity also, and that is that it has taught me something important. Goal is not to arrive, goal is to continue becoming. Every project changes us, every challenge teaches us, every success expands our perspective. The journey itself becomes the reward, not because achievements don't matter, they do, but because achievements gain meaning through the person we become while pursuing them. As we end today's reflection, I want to leave you with this thought. If you have recently achieved something important and you are surprised that it doesn't feel like the end, don't worry. You're not doing anything wrong. You're simply discovering a truth about growth. Success is not a finish line, it is a milestone, a chapter, a doorway, a moment to pause, celebrate, reflect, and then continue. So the dream isn't over because you achieved it. The dream evolved. And perhaps that's the most exciting part. Because somewhere ahead, there are still stories waiting to be written, ideas waiting to be explored, and possibilities waiting to be discovered. Success doesn't feel like the end because life was never meant to be a single destination. It was always meant to be a journey. So thank you for joining me for this Friday reflection. Until next time, keep creating, keep growing, and keep appreciating both the milestones and the road ahead. Thank you for listening. See you in the next week.